Hello everyone, I am LilyMoo961 and we're going to be doing something very different because I have been inspired over the last week or so by several different videos that are analyzing or reacting to the music from NieR Automata. And anyone who knows me really well knows that NieR Automata is my favorite video game of all time. And one of the many reasons why I love this game so much is because of its music. So, just to have some fun, since I've done no planning for this video at all, and I guess I should get my disclaimers out of the way right now. I'm just going to dive into the music and start talking about it. I will talk about it first just as the music itself, and then I'll talk about its significance in the game, which leads me to the first track, which is Significance. So this track begins right when it's the menu music. And one thing that's very interesting about this music is it immediately sets the tone because it's the first piece of music that you actually hear within the game if you're booting it up for the first time. So it sets this tone of kind of eeriness from how it sounds. And I say that personally, this particular track is not one that I listen to a whole lot. So I don't have a whole lot to say on it, aside from the fact that it does set the tone of the experience you're going to get into if you're actually playing the game. And one interesting component that I never realized about this track before is that, and I did get this from like another video of someone analyzing it, so I will put the information for that because I can't remember the name of that person off the top of my head right now. But when the singing comes in, I think what this person said is that when you hear the vocals, it's actually like a piece of Weight of the World backwards. And Weight of the World is a reoccurring track that you will hear often within the game. And it's also one of the tracks you hear in the game. So it is kind of interesting that the composer thought to put a little snippet of Weight of the World in the very first piece of music that you hear when you boot up the game. And because of the story significance of the song, it's very poignant and powerful in that aspect. But beyond the symbolic things within the song, I can't say it's one that I really listen to a lot, but it does set a good atmosphere, and I do enjoy listening to it a great deal when it's in the game. And it's just good background music for when you're setting up your settings and all of that different stuff. So I do enjoy that component of it. It's very pleasant. There's nothing bad about the song. It's just not one that I gravitate toward in saying that it's one of my favorites. It's just, just a solid track that's a good way to start off the game and set the mood. The next track we'll be getting into is City Ruins, Rays of Light. And this song, this is definitely one of my favorites in the game, and you do hear this song quite a bit. But the reason I love it is not only is it one of the more reoccurring tracks of the game, it's just so beautiful. It has like the eerie aspects in certain ways, but it's also very peaceful and very it just feels like Automata. If you wanted to feel the spirit of the story and of the game with one song, I feel that this song kind of conveys what the game really is. It's very mysterious, it's very rich, it has some components that just make you feel things, you know? And I really do enjoy this aspect of City Ruins very much. It is just, and especially with the different dynamics that you hear within the game, uh, especially when the beat kicks in, it's phenomenal. And I absolutely love the vocals of Janique Nicole here. She has such a great voice, and it really goes along well with the chaos language that Emmy Evans created. It's just great. It's just great. Like, I could listen to this song over and over and over again. It stays on my playlist. It's just very fabulous. I love it. In terms of like what you experience in the game with this song, the dynamic version of the song does not come up quite as often as the quieter versions of the song. You may hear the instrumental mostly, the quiet or the medium instrumental for this piece within the game when you're traveling through the open world of the City Ruins. The dynamic portion really only shows up in certain story moments when you're about to do something. One that I can think of off the top of my head is like right before you first go into the desert, the dynamic version of this song is playing then. But otherwise, I don't think you really hear like the full dynamics of this song with the vocals and everything as much as you hear the instrumental portion. And you do hear the instrumental portion quite a bit. And it's kind of amazing to me how different the song becomes when when it's playing a different dynamic. When it's quiet, it does have that more mysterious feel. When the dynamics are more powerful, it conveys a sense of being more purposeful. Like there's something that you need to be doing. There's something that it's just more purposeful in delivery. You can kind of feel that there's like, a sense of urgency behind it musically that's telling you, okay, there's something that needs to get taken care of. There's a mission to do. And because of the context of the story with 2B and 9S being soldiers for Yorha, it really does send that message very well just through the music alone and the singing and how it's delivered here. This track is also one that will come back in a different way later on in the story. And even that version of the song changes the dynamics significantly because by the point that this other version of the song comes in, the dynamics of the story have completely changed. And we will definitely discuss that more once we get to the other version of the City Ruins track. But for this, I just absolutely love the serene nature of this song. It just captures so many different emotions through the music, and the composition itself, it's just one that stays in your head. And not only does it stay in your head, but because it's so pleasant, you never really get tired of listening to it. It's just one of those songs that is like a permanent fixture in my playlist at this point. Like, I listen to it all the time. It's great for background music when I'm doing chores around the house or doing other things. It's just one of those tracks that just feels not only peaceful, but nostalgic in some ways. And it just carries this emotion that's hard to really describe in this moment of me speaking. It's just one of those songs that just carries a lot of many different feelings and the mysteriousness and kind of like this sense of adventure in a way, but in a more subdued way because of the nature of the story having to do with androids fighting for the sake of humanity. So it's purposeful, but there's also some sadness and melancholy to it. And I do enjoy that very, very much. The next track we're going to be checking out is Peaceful Sleep. And this song is definitely one that put my dad to sleep every time. Every time that recently I played through NieR Automata again, but my dad was actually experiencing the story with me. He wanted to see what the game was all about, so he watched me play through the game. And anytime we went to the resistance camp, he was asleep. Like, this song made, yeah, like, it's so peaceful that it just flat out knocked him out. And he loved going to the resistance camp. He's like, when are you going to go back to the resistance camp? So this song is very true to its name in that it's very peaceful and it can prompt someone to fall asleep. Although I don't know how, because it's so beautiful and just very, like, it is very relaxing, but I guess because when you're actually playing the game, like, you don't necessarily, like, you're not thinking about going to sleep. But that's just a fun memory of from when me and my dad went through the game together. Uh, but to speak more about the song, when those guitars kick in at the very beginning and the way that they play throughout, I love the guitar work in this song, and I love the vocals. It does kind of send this message that this is your home base. This is where you feel the most comfortable. Because when we get to talking about the music for The Bunker, it's a very different feel. It's definitely not a, relaxing song in the sense that it has a more ominous feel in a way, or maybe not ominous, but just kind of eerie. It has this different feel. It kind of like invokes this image of like, of being sterile and just being this place where perfection is expected. But the resistance camp is more relaxed and casual. And essentially this music captures that essence of, relaxation, of being able to kick your shoes off and just, have some moments of peace. And for 2B and 9S in particular, that's something that both of them probably desperately needed. And the resistance camp kind of being their home base in their travels together throughout the game, the music sells that point that the resistance camp is kind of like home. It's this place where everything kind of happens. It's where all the androids are gathered together fighting for the same cause. And it just really works well for that. It works well to convey that point, simply through the music. I will say that I don't listen to this song, as often as, say, City Ruins or other songs that we're going to be talking about here in a minute. But I do like this song a lot. It is very peaceful. Definitely don't have anything bad to say about it. It's very nice and calming. And now it invokes, precious memories of mine of me and my dad going through the game, because he really, really liked this song. Like I said, he fell asleep every time he heard it. Like, stuff could be going on in the story, important stuff, and we would get to the resistance camp, and in 2 seconds flat, he's asleep. He just really loved this song. He loved going to the resistance camp. And there are other tracks that I'll talk about later that he also really liked, but for the time being, the resistance camp was definitely his favorite place in NieR Automata, and Peaceful Sleep was definitely one of his favorite tracks in the game. So, shout out to my dad. Hi, Dad. I don't know if you'll be watching this, but hey. Okay, I guess we should just move on to the next song, shouldn't we? Memories of Dust. The next song we'll be covering. Like, I'm listening to it right now as I'm talking, and this song is my jam. I would say that this is probably, like, definitely within the top 5 of NieR Automata tracks for me. Like, there's just something about this song that just I love so very much. Like, it's very mysterious in a way, but it just has this groove to it, and I love the vocals. Janique Nicole, girl, it's like, yes, hunty. Like, she slayed this one. Like, she slays other songs in the soundtrack too, don't get me wrong. But this one's just a personal favorite. I absolutely love every single aspect of this track. The composition, the way it's sung, the way it just captures this feeling of being in a dry and arid desert wasteland. It's just perfect for the scenery that this song is heard in. And I just, it's so good. Love it, love it, love it. I don't know if I'm going to have much more to say about it aside from outright gushing. Because in terms of like the story, in the context of the story and how the music is used within the story, you're definitely only really going to hear this in the desert. And oftentimes it is kind of switching between the instrumentals where it's quiet or in the medium dynamics. And you only hear like the really loud dynamics where it's like really powerful and smacking you in the face with the epicness when I think just twice, I believe, just 2 different times. The first time is kind of like when you first, like not when you first go into the desert for the first time, but when you get to the machines congregating, like right when you find them. I'm not going to describe what's going on, and those of you who've played the game know why. I'm not going to say what it was, but essentially it plays then, briefly, and I think it plays again like when you get into Route C, and you head there as well, I wonder, should I say? I'm kind of worried about like spoiling it for somebody who may not have played the game yet. But let's just say when you go there as a different character in Route C, I'll say that to kind of, negate that from happening. So you'll hear the dynamic version of the song play then as well. And man, the dynamic version is just, especially when those violins kick in. It's just, I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's a very powerful track, and I feel it's underrated. It's just really good. I absolutely love this track. Memories of Dust, people. It's phenomenal. So good. And see, for the rest of this now, I'm just going to be grooving to it, because, like, it's still playing in my ear right now. Like, seriously, I could, like, if this song played, like, well, I guess it would never play on the radio, but if it did all of a sudden, and, like, I was driving or something, like, I would just have to stop where I am, wherever it is I am, and just start grooving, just be like, oh, yeah, that's the jam, that's my song, that's my jam. Like, it's just one of those songs. I love it. I got nothing more to say. I guess we should just move on, huh? We're just moving right along, aren't we? Okay, so the next song I'm going to be talking about, since I'm going in order, is Birth of a Wish. Okay, so this song is definitely one of the battle tracks, and anytime I hear this song, all I can think about is like the machines being like, this cannot continue, this cannot continue. Or the other one where they're like, become as gods, become as gods. Like, it makes me laugh. And one thing, like, this song doesn't remind me of it, but like one thing that my dad kept doing throughout the game after the beginning of Route B, like, he would keep he just kept saying things like, brother, like, like, if you guys have played the game, then you know what I'm talking about, but some of you just probably have no idea what I'm saying and are like, could you talk about the music? Okay. Well, this song is epic. It's definitely, like, it has some deeper male vocals in there, which I really like, because it's the first time within the soundtrack at this point that we're hearing the deeper vocals, and it's nice to hear a little bit of that bass in there. Very nice, very nice. And it's also just one of those tracks also that kind of gets stuck in your head, even without the whole, this cannot continue, this cannot continue. Like, even without that, it's one of those, like, tracks that once you've heard it, like, once or twice, like, it's in there forever. It's just, like, very, very good battle music. I definitely like listening to it. It's another one that I don't listen to that often unless I'm listening to the entire soundtrack, but I do like it very much. Like, it's definitely one that I never skip because it's just really, really good. Especially in different times when certain instruments come in. Like, I'm listening to it now and I can hear a little bit of like the violin going at a particular point and the way it's played. Very, very nice. Just a very it's a very dynamic song where there's like interesting things in the background of the music that you may not necessarily pay attention to when you're hearing it within the game. But when you listen to it without like anything, you can really hear the different components of the song, like the chanting and the way the percussion kicks in. It's really, it's a very well put together song. Like, the compositions in NieR Automata, like, just so good. Like, I know everyone talks about how great the music in the game is, but like, can you ever like talk about it too much? Can you like I mean, when it's true, it's just true, okay? So that's all I'm gonna say about this track. I don't have much more to say at this time. Maybe I'll come back and oh wait, there is something. There's something I need to say. I just remembered. The context of the story. Well, maybe not the context of the story, but it does. The way this song is used in the story is definitely like a machine life form based song in the 2 times that it plays majorly. So I did want to say that. I may come back to talking about, maybe not this track in this video, but at a different time I may talk more about the story components and such, because this is all kind of like a rough draft of maybe a more detailed analysis. So yeah. You know, I just feel like my awkward behind is always going to end different song segments on a laugh, because I laugh and say like a lot when I'm nervous or not totally comfortable yet. I'm sure it's going to get better as we go on. So let's just move on to track 6, which is called The Color of Depression. Okay, I will say this right away. Like, when the song kind of first starts, it does invoke a visceral reaction out of me. And this definitely isn't like hot take here, but this is one of the tracks that I typically skip. Like, I'm listening to it right now for the sake of this video, but it's just not one that I prefer to listen to. And that's more for taste reasons. It has nothing to do with the quality of the music. The quality is perfectly fine, because if it's meant to invoke a visceral reaction musically, which I'm pretty sure it is, then yeah, it does the job. I think I remember this playing like after a couple of side quests. Again, like, there's one particular part where the music does like this kind of almost low screeching sort of thing, and I just not a fan. Like, at all. Like, it makes me nervous. Like, because like I said, it's a really eerie song, and I guess if you wanted to give depression a sound, then yeah, this is the sound it would be. It's very, very, just not cute. It ain't cute. The Color of Depression is not cute. It's not a cute look for anybody. So yeah, it doesn't work well for me. It just doesn't. Like, that's really all I have to say. It's perfectly fine. It's well composed, because just because I don't like it doesn't mean that it's not composed brilliantly or that it doesn't work well as a piece of music. In terms of how it's used in the game, it's very effective and works really well. I'm just not a fan because, like I said, it invokes a visceral reaction out of me. There are certain aspects that I just cannot stand, and I guess I just like more melodic songs, and this less melodic, more atmospheric, more like really trying to make you feel something like almost sinister. It's almost like it's showcasing the sinister underbelly of components that are coming up in the story, or that will come up in the story later, because they're like, even when you're playing the game, there's always something kind of off, especially when it comes to stuff regarding like the Council of Humanity and Yorha. Like there's always a little something that just doesn't seem quite right. And so this song kind of holds that component as well. I feel like I'm saying component a lot in this video. I really need to expand my vocabulary, but I am talking on the spot, so it's to be expected. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next song now. Okay, so the next track we're going to be listening to is the Amusement Park. You know, I just realized I said we're going to be listening to it, but I'm the only one listening to it right now, like on my end, because you guys can't hear the music. I'm not recording it for this video. I mean, I probably could have, but Square Enix is kind of weird about NieR Automata's music, so I didn't want to risk it. Anywho, this song is one that I really do enjoy. I do listen to it a fair amount. Although I will say I do like it more when it's in the dynamic range and not as much when it's in the quieter or medium sort of dynamics. I definitely like it more when it really hits, you know, that strong point. And those of you who've played the game know that within NieR Automata, the dynamics of the tracks for the environments in the game often change. So you can be in one area of the amusement park and the music is quiet. You can be in another area and the music is kind of in a moderate state where, you know, you hear more elements of the song than you would in the quiet version. But then when it gets to the truly like super dynamic version where you can just hear everything, like all the different components of the song coming together to set a different mood, it's just a really interesting thing that is done within NieR Automata that isn't done as much in other games by Yoko Taro. Like NieR Replicant and the original NieR from 2010 doesn't necessarily really do this as much. It does it sometimes, but not quite as much as in NieR Automata. NieR Automata really did play around with its music a whole lot. And so it makes for more a more memorable experience when it comes to certain tracks because you could remember certain environments that you were in when you heard this particular version of the track and how it influenced your feelings about the story elements that were happening at that time. But suffices to say, the Amusement Park is a good song. It's effective. I do listen to it quite a bit. I can't say it's one of my absolute favorites or anything, but I do listen to it a fair amount. I do like it a lot. I just, you know, I can't say it's like, you know, one that I would really be gushing about, but it's effective. Emi's vocals are fabulous as always, and I just enjoy the song. It's good, and I think we can move on to the next one. The last track we'll be taking today is A Beautiful Song. Okay, I am going to say this is a bit of a hot take because I remember when this game first came out, everyone was going crazy about this song. And I think part of the reason why is because of the boss fight associated with it. The boss fight for this song is like the machine songstress. And the music actually is what's the word? Well, I'll say like patterned around her attacks, or the attacks are patterned around the music. And so that makes the music stand out more in the moment when you're playing the game. But on its own, even though I really like this song and I do feel that the vocals are powerful, I think Emmy Evans and Janique Nicole sing within this song. And Janique Nicole's vocals, again, slay. And so do Emmy's. Like, they both, like, their voices together meld so well. And this is, I think, the first song that you hear in the game where both of them are singing together. And it is a fabulous combination. But I do feel that the dynamics of their voices combine together better in other songs that they sing together on, which we'll talk about, I guess, in a different video since this is the last one we're covering today. Again, it's a very powerful song, and I do really like the vocals. It's just not one that I feel as strongly about as, say, like other people who played the game and heard this song. it's a perfectly fine battle track. And again, the vocals, I think the vocals are kind of what make it as popular as it is within NieR Automata, because like they really, Emmy Evans and Janique Nicole, I'll just say it again, they're both phenomenal singers and their voices really complement each other, and it's showcased really well in this track. But beyond that, I can't really say it's one that I feel really strongly about, but it's good. It's a great battle theme, and it's definitely a fun one when you're actually playing the game. I think it's actually more fun within the game and more effective within the game than outside of the game. Outside of the game, it doesn't have the strange, goodness gracious, I meant the same punch. There we go. It's like, get your words together, sis. Probably should have did some vocal exercises before talking for a long extended period of time, but no. Yeah. Anyway, I believe that is all I need to talk about today. Again, this is a bit of a rough draft, so definitely go easy on me if you guys decide to comment and tell me, how awkward I am or whatever. Like, that's just how it is. Although you could tell me how many times I say like in this video, because I did a lot. It's like the like and the knows were abundant. But I had fun doing this, and I'll definitely do more. Like, I'll go ahead and post this anyway, even though it's meant to be more of a rough draft, so that I can construct a script and actually do these songs justice in an analysis. But for just the sake of having fun and for the sake of alleviating some boredom that I was having today, it was fun. And maybe it'll be fun for you guys too. I had a good time. And I'll probably do more of these at another time. So next time I do this, I'll go through the rest of disc 1. And I may be able to do disc 2 or 3. Maybe not in the same video, but we'll see. We'll see. So if you guys enjoyed this, please leave a like on this video, and yeah, leave a comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I definitely did. And hopefully next time I'll be a little less awkward. This is the first time that I'm doing a video of this type where I'm actually listening to tracks as I'm talking about them, so I did get distracted at points. And I know my words kind of melded together in spots as well. So so that probably didn't help with, you know what? I'm talking too much. I'm just going to go. So have a good day. God bless you. See you next time.